Hey, what's up, everyone? So, nothing beats a good calzone. Today, I'm going to show you one of my favorite ways to make one. Get ready. This is the calzone to surpass them all. All right, so this might not be your most traditional or even typical of calzones. I am taking some liberties with this one, but I assure you at the end, you are going to fall in love with just how good this is. Now, we have a lot going on today. We're going to be making our own pizza dough with a twist. I'll get to that soon, don't worry. We're also going to be making our own spicy Italian sausage straight from scratch. Oh my God, you guys, this is going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to sharing with you. Let's get into it.
All right, like I said, we're going to be making Italian sausage from scratch. And obviously, you can get Italian sausage from the grocery store. I mean, I get it. Time constraints, busy weeknights. I wanted to just have the chance to be able to show you how you can make bulk Italian sausage straight from your own home from scratch. It's an incredibly easy process to do, and I think it's going to work well for our calzone. All right, to make our Italian sausage, we have pork shoulder and pork belly. We only need about 3 pounds worth of pork shoulder. This is also known as Boston butt, and 1 pound equal of pork belly. And it's important that we get that equal fat to meat ratio when we're doing our Italian sausage. So all we're going to do is chop these up into bite-sized cubes. So yeah, all we're going to do now is just cut our pork shoulder into pieces. Next, we're going to do the same thing for our pork belly. So just bite-sized cubes of each. So as you see, we've measured out both our pork shoulder and our pork belly. We have our 3 pounds of pork shoulder and 1 pound of pork belly. Now we can get to our seasonings. All right, so we have our spice mix all here. We have some fennel seeds, some garlic, got some coriander seeds, some whole black peppercorns, some sweet paprika, some dry oregano and dried basil. We've got some kosher salt and some sugar, and we also have some red chili flakes. Now, this is optional. If you want a mild Italian sausage, you can leave this out, obviously, but we're making spicy Italian sausage today, so we're keeping it in. Also, we're going to take these spices and we're going to grind them all together, all except our fennel seeds and our garlic. I'm going to add that lastly. Alright, so we have all our spices minus our fennel seeds and garlic all mixed together, and we're just going to grind all this up into a nice fine powder. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, so we have our pork mixture here. We're going to go ahead and add our pulverized spices. Just cover that. Followed by our fennel seeds. And our garlic. Now all there's left is just to get in there and make sure everything's well combined. Alright, so we've got our spice mixture, everything well incorporated into our meat. We're just going to throw this in the freezer to firm up for about 30 minutes to an hour. It's really important that we do this so that it grinds easily when we get to it. So we'll come back to after 45 minutes-ish. Alright, so we have taken our meat out of the freezer. We're going to assemble our grinder and get ready to get to grinding our Italian sausage. Now, one other important thing that you want to do when you're grinding your own meat, You also want to make sure you freeze the individual parts of your grinder. It's the same thing as the reason that we put our meat in the freezer for half an hour. It makes it easier to grind everything. So let's just put this together. And somehow I always manage to screw this up. I don't know, but give me a minute. One other thing I wanted to mention, if you're going to grind your own meat and you're going to invest in your own grinder, make sure, this is what's called, I think it's called the worm. It's what the meat comes out of. You want to make sure for Italian sausage, you use the medium one. This is about 0.4 millimeters. This is the one that you should be using for Italian sausage. Okay, the final stage in making our Italian sausage is a process called emulsification. And all that is doing is taking two substances to make a more homogeneous mixture. In this case, we're taking the fat and the meat, and we want to get it all well combined to look like that, like the Italian sausage you're used to seeing. So we're just going to transfer the meat to a stand mixer and put the paddle on. And all we're going to do then is, while it's mixing, add some water, cold water. Okay, so everything's all mixed. We finally have our spicy Italian sausage. All I'm going to do now is just let this sit in the fridge for a little bit, let all the flavors meld together. So, yes, and that's how you'd get Italian sausage. Alright, so now it's time to turn our attention to our calzone dough, our pizza dough. So to a blender, I'm going to add 2 cups of flour, a packet of fast-acting yeast, followed by a teaspoon of sugar, and a teaspoon of kosher salt, a tablespoon of olive oil. Alright, so like I told you at the beginning of this video, our dough for our calzone is going to have a slight little twist to it. And that twist, my friends, is this. That's right. I'm going to dice up a jalapeno and put it into our dough and make jalapeno pizza dough.
Out of your mind? Yes, completely, but that's not a recent thing.
Yeah, I guess I may be slightly crazy. You should see what my coworkers have to say about me. But yes, I'm going to be making jalapeno pizza dough, and I think it's going to be awesome. So let's dice this up and add it to our dough. Alright, let's give this a blitz. Okay, we're going to blend our dough and add 3/4 of a cup of warm water. That's between 120 and 130 degrees. So gonna form it. Next time we're gonna transfer our dough to a greased bowl and just let it sit for about 45 minutes. Okay, now it's time to turn our attention to the stuffing for our calzone. So I have my cast iron heated over medium heat. We're going to just add a little bit of avocado oil. Okay, so we're going to take our Italian sausage, and as you see, I have siphoned off about 1 pound of our Italian sausage, and I'm just going to add that to our skillet. And we're just going to break that up. Okay, once the sausage has been cooked through, we're just going to set aside and let it cool. Alright, so we're adding more oil, just a little bit. And to that, we're going to add some mushrooms. I sliced these up earlier. We're also going to add some sliced red onion. I sliced that earlier. Oops. We're going to add some salt and pepper. Next thing we're going to add is some baby spinach. And we're just going to mix that until it wilts. We're then going to add a little bit more oil and some garlic. Just 1 clove. Should be enough. Alright, we got the spinach nice and wilted. We're just going to take it off the heat and let it cool along with the sausage mixture. Okay, now it's time to add our cheeses. I'm going in with about a cup of ricotta cheese. Along with about a cup of mozzarella, freshly grated, and some Parmesan cheese, about a half a cup. Throw in a little olive oil, and we'll give it a mix. Okay, our filling's done. Let's get our calzone dough up and ready, and we will start to fill. Alright, we're going to take our dough. It's been about, well, actually an hour. We are only going to use half of our dough. We'll just reserve the rest for some other time. So. Alright, so we have our calzone all rolled out. We're going to add our filling. Alright, we're going to go around the sides of the calzone with some water just so we can help everything stick. I'm gonna just fold our calzone. We're then going to add little ventals, so add a little bit more oil, just brush that on top. Okay, we've added this to our sheet pan with a little bit of cornmeal just to make sure that it doesn't slide off. And we're going to put it in a 450 degree oven for about 20 minutes. Alright, we've taken our calzone out of the oven. Let's slice her up. And that, my friends, is a calzone that surpasses them all. I hope you give this a try, and I will see you next time.